What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kilo Loco, and today we're going to be going over universal links. Now, universal links are very similar to deep links. If you haven't seen deep links, I have a video on that. Make sure you check that out. But universal links are essentially links that allow your website to function in a way where if they're on their computer, then they can continue working with, obviously stay on the computer and then be able to browse your website. But if they're looking at your website while they're on their phone, what they could do is they could hit a link, and if they have your app installed on their phone, what it will do is you can use universal links to jump into a specific page that corresponds to the content that they would be seeing on a website, but instead they can have the mobile experience. Now, you will need a website in order to actually follow along and do this tutorial. I'm not going to go into all of that. But I am going to show you how to set up universal links inside your app. Now, before we jump in, I just want to say if you are looking for help, like as in mentoring, or if you have any questions and you need to reach me on Slack or anything like that, then I want you to head over to kiloloco.com. And I want you to check out the All Access membership. This is where you can become a member of the Slack community that I'm running, as well as get access to all my content and courses that I will be putting out. So as you can see, I have a couple of courses that are out. I'm planning on putting out more, but for the very low price of $8 a month, you can get the All Access membership, have access to all my courses that I have out right now, as well as all courses that I plan on releasing on this website in the future. So let's go ahead and jump in to actually getting the code going. So let's go ahead and open up our project. First things first, open up the project, baby. We got to open it up. Now, this is our project, Universal Linkage, and I want to show you a couple of things that I've changed really quickly. And what we have is our app delegate. It's very empty. We just have this navigator object, which is simply going to allow us to go to a specific place inside the app. If you want to take a look at the code, make sure you check the link in the description. You could go download the code for free, or all the source code for free, and you can see how all this is working. But essentially, this object is going to route my user. When they click on a specific link in my website, it's going to route them to a specific page in my app. Now, if you want to take a look at the app, we actually have, and we could take a look at it right here. So we have the home screen, which is, I'm just going to put favorites or whatever. This is the home screen, and then you have the contact screen, and all this content right here. This is a table view, and we have all these users. And then if you click on the user, what it does is it jumps into the user details screen, where it's going to say, whoever the user is and how old they are. Now you can see that this I actually have a website that's dedicated to this same information as well. If I just go over to it. Sorry, this is going to be a relatively long video. I'm going to try to make it short as possible, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind universal links. So as you can see, I have like a website that has similar information. So if they were looking at this content on their phone, but they were in the Safari web browser or whatever browser, I want them to be able to experience it in the proper way by looking at it in the app. But as you can see, it does the same exact thing. I tap on Kyle, and it goes here, and it says Kyle is 27 years old. So we want to make sure that our user is having that full app experience, right? So let's go over a couple of things here. Just once again, just the setup. All you can see, all I'm doing for the users view controller is just getting those users from the API. I'm using a networking request to get those users, and then populating the data in the table view. And then for the user details, just, as you can see, I'm making sure that a user ID is in here. I'm getting the user with the user ID, and then I'm just updating the label to make sure that it has that statement in there. All right, so now the actual information that we're here for, the code that we're in here for. So in order for you to support universal links, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go up to your project file up here. I don't even know what that blue thing is called, honestly, but what you want to do is you're going to go over to the capabilities. We're going to go over to associated domains. Now, not only will you have to have a website to kind of do this like properly, but also you're going to need to be an actual Apple developer, because this does not work on this. It does work on the simulator, but you need to be able to set up associated domains, which I think you can only do if you're an Apple developer, right? So what we want to do is we want to go over to associated domains, turn it on. We're going to do a plus button, and what we're going to do in here is we're going to type in app links and then our website. So let me do that right now. All right, so as you can see, I added in here, it's called app links : and then my website. Actually, you don't want to have the HTTPS, my bad. Just the website, just like that. And this is what you want it to look like. So whatever your name is, whatever the domain name or wherever your website is, this is how you want to have it set up. I'm using a Heroku app for this, but this is how you want to have it set up. So make sure it's app links : your website. Nothing, no slashes at the end after the .com or .co or whatever your website is, just like that. All right, now that we have our associated domain set in here with our website, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a file called Apple App Site Association. Now this is not gonna have an extension, so it's not gonna be .json or .txt or any of that. You have to just create this file without an extension. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go over to your terminal, and what you want to do is you're going to change directory to your desktop, and you're going to create this file. So let me do that right now. All right, so what you want to do is you want to type out touch apple-app-site-association. Now I'm currently at the directory of my desktop. So that's where it's going to spit it out at. So if I go over to my desktop, now I'm going to see that I have this file right here, apple-app-site.association. Make sure that it is spelled correctly. It is very important. Now what we want to do is we actually want to open up this file in some type of text editor. So I personally like to use Visual Studio Code, so that's what I'm going to use. All right, so as you can see, I'm just opening this file in the application called Visual Studio Code. So I'm gonna open that up. And what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to paste in essentially what looks like JSON. So I'm gonna go ahead and paste that in. All right, so I pasted in the JSON, and if you want to just copy and paste the same code that I have, you can find it in the description on my website for this video. So as you can see, we have this JSON structure looking thing, and it has app links, and then inside of it are the apps. You're just gonna leave that blank. In details, it's gonna be an array of different things, and it's gonna be an array of objects, and you're gonna see app ID. Now, the app ID is very particular to which apps you want to support for your website. Like what apps are associated with your website. You need to put all that information in right here. So I want my Kilo Loco .universal linkage. As you can see, this is the bundle ID of my app to general. This bundle ID is the same exact bundle ID as right here. And this right here, this number or this code dot my bundle ID is just my team ID. Now, if you don't know how to find your team ID, all you have to do is you have to go to developer.apple.com, and you're going to open up your developer portal, and you can either find it in the URL. It's going to be this last path right here, or if it's not showing up right there, you just go to the membership, and you're going to find it under team ID. So this is going to be what you want to put in right here. So yours is going to obviously be different because we're not on the same team. I play for the other team, buddy. And you're going to paste that in right here. And then you're also going to replace this with your bundle ID. Now the paths, what I want you to do when you're testing this out is I want you to just put in this star, but for this demonstration, I'm going to say users. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want my app to open whenever somebody's trying to go to my website. I only want them to open my app when they're trying to go to a specific page, which is the users page. Now, when you're testing this out, just put the star. This is what you want right here. But if you really want to follow along, you can do the users, but you have to make sure that there is a user's path on your website in order for this to work. So like I said, star, but I'm going to put users. Now, once you have this file, you're going to want to save it. And that's when you're going to take it over to your website, and you're going to want to upload that file. Now, the file needs to be whatever your website is .com, right? And then it has to be accessible like this. So you see how it's up here, how all that information is up here, and it's myapp.com/Apple App Site Association. That's how you want it to be. You don't want to have any other folders or any other slashes before that. If you did want to put it in a private folder, what is also acceptable is to put it in a folder that is labeled .well_known. So it looks like this, well_known, like this. So the dot before the name means that it's a private folder that you don't usually see, or a hidden folder, and that's how you want it to look. But on my website, it looks like this. That's how I access it. If it's at a different location, then this will not work, and this will drive you crazy if you're trying to debug. So just make sure that it looks like this. It's .com/Apple App Site Association. And once again, there are no extension. It's no .json. It's not .txt. It's none of that. It's just the file name. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you have to do for like the external configuration. As long as your website has this file up there and it's accessible like that. And then if you go to your app, your project, and you go to the capabilities and you check under associated domains, you have this in here, then both your app knows about your website and your website knows about your app. So you're going to be all set. Now, the only thing that's left to do is for you to handle when somebody actually taps on that link. So what we want to do is we're going to use a method that's provided in the app delegate. So let's write that out right now. All right, so now we have the continue user activity method implemented inside of our app delegate. And this is like the bare minimum that we need in order for our app to actually start opening up as soon as somebody clicks a link that's directing the user to a specific page. Now I want to show you how this works, and I'm gonna demo this for you in the simulator, which it's actually easy to test. So as you can see, I have my I have my website right here, or I have my app right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up Safari, and then we're just gonna go over to whatever website that you have it loaded on. I'm gonna type mine in right now. All right, so as you can see, this is the website. This is just my regular website with no slash at the end. So it's kl-universal-links-server.heroku app. So if I go there, you can see that this is just the home page. That's what the home page looks like, right? If I go to /users, then what's going to happen is I'm going to see this website where I can see all these users. Now, as you can see, it's going to show me this open in the universal linkage app. So that's pretty cool. You already have this drop down automatically coming out for you saying, hey, you can open this up in the app if you want. So if I were to tap this, it's obviously going to open in the app. But let's go back to Safari and see what happens if we were to select one of these rows. If I select it, what's going to happen is it's going to take me over to this website. Now, what I want it to do is I actually want to open up my application. So let's go ahead and put in the code that's going to allow it to open up my application when one of these rows gets selected. All right, so back over here in the app delegate, what I want to do is I'm going to use my navigator to essentially handle where I should be opening up the app from. But first we have to get the website URL. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so a NS user activity object has a property called web page URL. So we're just going to make sure that we unwrap that. If we're able to get it, then we can move forward. But if not, we're just going to return false, saying no, we can't handle this. And from here, what we want to do is we want to open up the navigator and let the navigator navigate the app to the correct location based off of this URL. So let's do that right now. All right, so as you can see, what we're doing right now is we're grabbing the destination from the navigator. It's going to take in a URL. It's going to decode the URL. Essentially, it's going to parse the URL, it's going to find out which view controller we should be going to, and it's going to return back that view controller. If that view controller doesn't exist, or we can't create the correct space that we're supposed to be going to, all we're going to do is we're going to say in this else statement, we're going to just open up the URL, and that's going to essentially open it up in Safari. So as long as we're able to get this view controller, we should be able to open the app. From here, all we need to do is make sure that we set the root controller of our window and make sure that it's key invisible, and it should be opening up the correct page on the app. All right, so as you can see, as long as we got the view controller, we're going to set the view controller to the root view controller, make that window key invisible, and we're going to say we're going to return true. Yes, we can handle this in our app, and we're going to open it up. So let's go ahead and run this code once again, and let's go ahead and see what happens now. All right, so now we have our application running. We're going to open that bad boy right on up. We're going to go to Safari, and if you take a look, so if we just reload this and then we pull down, what's going to happen is, once again, we're going to see that it has that open. It's saying essentially open with the Universal Linkage app, which is the name of our app. We're going to open that bad boy up, and what it's going to do is it's going to jump directly to the correct controller, and it's going to show the information as it should be when you're viewing it on the app. So it's going to give the user that option to open up the content in the app, and it's going to the correct controller. And as you can see, this is actually deep because we started off on the favorite screen, but we ended up on the contact screen, as well as being able to go back to the user screen. So now, as you can see, I can go back, I could go to some other content and continue viewing as I would be on the website. So that's like the super awesome thing. Now let me show you another way to test this, which is even better for your app. Let's go over to messages. Yes, messages. You're gonna message Kate Bell. We're gonna be telling Kate Bell what the business is. Now what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna send Kate 3 different messages. It's gonna be a link to my homepage, which is just going to be the KL Universal Links HerokuApp.com. Then I'm going to send her the same URL but with the /users, and then I'm going to send her that same URL but with the /users / some other number to indicate which user I'm talking about. All right, so as long as you were able to see what I did, once again, I sent 3 URLs. Now in iMessages, it shows up like an icon like this, and it's kind of expecting to go to Safari. But since we have our application set up to use universal links, watch what happens. Now, remember that I made my app, or I made my website only open up universal links if it's /users. So this first one will actually take me to the website, as it should. It should only take me to the website because, as you can see at the end of this URL, there is no /users. However, if I go back to messages and I tap on users, now this one's my long URL /users. This is one of the cases that I'm handling. It's going to open up my app to the user screen. It's going directly to the user screen. Now, if I were to go back to favorites, or I could have just left it right there, I just want to show you that it's going to change to the correct screen. Once again, go into messages, and this one is /users /1 saying user ID of 1. I want to go to whoever user ID of 1, and as it can already tell, this is going to be the name Hello Kyle based off of my website. But if I tap on it, it's going to go actually into the user details directly into that screen, and it's going to deep link all the way to the correct content. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you need to know in order to get universal links working with your app and your website. And if you guys are interested in having me do more of a deep dive on this topic and showing you how all this would really work with a real world app where we can build out a real website, a real application, and have all this stuff kind of work together and do it from scratch so that you don't have this giant massive starter project that has all these things that you don't fully understand, then let me know and I could do a course on it. So if you're looking for a course on universal links and how to do all this from scratch, then let me know and I'll make sure to do a course, and I'll put that out on kiloloco.com. So one last thing that I want to show you before you take off is, obviously this is how your Apple App Site Association is supposed to look like, but remember that everybody has to follow the same rules. That means that you can find, something like Facebook's Apple App Site Association. So if we go ahead and type in facebook.com, and we do the same thing, you can see how complex theirs gets as well. So that's how you do it. Once again, if you want a course on it, let me know. I'll make a course on it and I'll add it to kiloloco.com. I'll show you how to do the website setup, the iOS setup, and we'll even get a couple other things in there as well. If you guys need help, make sure you check out kiloloco.com and you get that all access membership, and you can hit me up on Slack. I'll be sending you a Slack invite. And, if you have any other content that you want covered, make sure you leave it in the comments below so I know, hey, you guys are looking for this type of content. I'll make sure to cover that. So I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for watching the tutorial to the end. You guys are the best. Keep coding passionately. Love y'all. Later.